welcome to DIY Crafts with JAMaROO Kids. I am teacher Jamaica, and today we are going to be doing a fun activity called Kitchen Band. So this activity is all about teaching your children to be creative, resourceful, to think outside of the box, and to problem solve. Because if you do not have a dancing scarf or a maraca or a shaker or castanets or rhythm sticks, there are so many things you can find around your house to create similar sounds. So this is a fun activity. I have a variety of objects here today that were all found around my apartment, and we are going to explore some of these, and I'm going to give you some other ideas. So the first thing we're going to start with today is we're going to talk about things that you can use instead of a dancing scarf. So let me move this out of the way, and I'm going to put this over here. And we are going to get this pile of fabric. So I have all sorts of stuff. This is an actual dancing scarf that we use in our JAMaROO Kids dance classes and music classes. It is created for children to use during a gross motor activity that involves imaginative play. And a scarf can be all sorts of things. It could be a hat, it could be an umbrella, you could paint rainbows in the sky, you can play peekaboo with your scarves. Well, a lot of people don't have scarves like this in their house. So what you could use is, if you have an actual scarf, you could use a scarf, but a scarf that's meant to go around your neck is going to be probably a little bit too long for your children and they could trip. So I have some other options for you. I have right here is a cloth napkin. This is a great size to dance with as a dancing scarf. We also have a bandana. So we have a bandana here. Bandanas are great because a lot of people also right now are using these as a makeshift mask for the pandemic. So if you invest in some bandanas, you could use them as dancing scarves. And if for some reason you can't find your mask, that's an alternative. We also have a dish towel. A dish towel makes a wonderful dancing scarf, and almost everybody has a clean dish towel somewhere in their home, so a dish towel would work. I do not have a washcloth with me, but a washcloth could also work as a dancing scarf. And if you do not have any of those objects, a tissue could work. It's a little small, but it could work. And a tissue is interesting because then you can really focus on being gentle with your scarf and making sure that you don't rip it. Or you could use a paper towel as a dancing scarf. So those are some options of things you could use as a scarf for creative movement, creative dance, and for music and movement. Now we're going to talk about some percussion instruments you can make with things found around the house. So I have right here, I have some empty plastic takeout containers, and instead of putting them in recycling, I saved them. I like to save all of my takeout containers, my yogurt containers, because I like to use them for craft projects with the children, and then I also like to be able to do things like this. So in this container, we have some Israeli couscous, and it makes a lovely sound. Some people call it pearl couscous. You could use regular couscous as well. In this one, we have some red lentils, and in this one, we have some dried pasta. Now look, we have 3 different things, and they all sound different. So that could be a great language and speech activity, is to talk about how they sound different and why maybe they sound different. So that's one activity. We also have some glass jars here, and this one is where I keep my extra peppercorns. So it makes a different sound if I'm going up and down because it hits the lid, which is metal, than if I'm shaking side to side, right? So that's an observation that you can make. And then in this one, I have some chopped nuts. In this jar, I have some water. And in this jar, I have some buttons from our button art project, if you haven't done that yet. And in this jar, I have some wine corks and pieces of cardboard. Wow, look at those sounds. So those are some things you can do if you don't have jingle bells or you don't have shakers. Now we're gonna talk about what you can do if you don't have rhythm sticks. So I have 2 wooden spoons here, and you can use the handles to create a sound. Now your wooden spoons are gonna sound different than your plastic handles. And that's gonna sound different than your chopsticks. But all work great for rhythm sticks. And what I love about using the chopsticks is you actually do get the straight up and down, so you can do things like make letters like the T, the V, and X, and L. You could also make shapes if you had more of these. But you could do that with a wooden spoon as well. Okay, so those are some ideas. Now, additionally, all of these things that could be rhythm sticks could also be drumsticks. So I have an empty Tupperware here. I could turn this upside down and I could play the drums. We could listen how it sounds different on the plastic than it would sound on a glass bowl. If you have pots and pans, you could use pots and pans too. And it would sound different than maybe one of your jars. And then I have a wisp. I love a wisp. It makes a really great sound. And again, it's gonna sound different in a glass bowl or a ceramic bowl than it is in a plastic container. So as you can see, I am using things around the house to create my kitchen band. There's so many fun activities you can do with all of these lovely sounds that you can create. You can have each person in the family have their designated instrument. So maybe Tommy's on the spoons, Lila's on the chopsticks, and maybe Mom is on the wisp. Dad is on the peppercorns or the chopped nuts, right? And you can have a little band. The whole family can get involved. You can also have everybody in the family kind of playing the same instrument. So maybe if you have a big pot or a big pan, everybody could be around that pot or pan, and you could all be playing the drums together with different objects. So I hope that you will have fun with your children at home playing kitchen band, and you'll have fun working on those creative thinking skills, those problem solving skills, and teach your child to be innovative and creative and resourceful with things you have in your home. We'll see you in the next DIY Crafts for Learning with JAMaROO Kids. Bye-bye.